Dear students, myself Dr. Fatima Sultana. I'm going to explain you about the terms flagship species, umbrella species and indicator species. You all know that India is home to rich biodiversity and wildlife. Although there are three flagship species, the Royal Bengal tiger, the greater one-horned rhinoceros and the Asian elephant, which dominate the spotlight, but still India is home to 423 mammal species. It has 1233 bird species, 526 reptile species, 342 amphibian species, 3022 fish species, and it has over more than 80,000 invertebrate species and more than 50,000 plant species. So we see that India is rich, having a rich biodiversity and wildlife. The Indian wilderness also contains four of the world's 35 biodiversity hotspots. The world is been marked as the biodiversity hotspots. Wherever there is good biodiversity, they have been marked, and India has four among those 35, and 26 of the world's most important wetlands as defined by Ramsar Convention. That means it is having a good wetland rich biodiversity also, and seven natural world heritage sites as defined by UNESCO. It is home to 10 biogeographic regions. The country is the last refuge for a number of highly endangered and threatened species. Now, natural world heritage, as I have told you, there are seven world heritage sites in India, and seven are Kaziranga National Park, Kevladev, Nanda Devi, Manas, Sundarbans, Western Ghats, and Great Himalayan National Park. Now, what is a flagship species? A flagship species is a species selected to act as an ambassador, icon, or symbol for a defined habitat issue, campaign, or environmental cause. That is, a species is selected to act as an ambassador. For example, you all know that if you want to publicize some product, we make a person ambassador for it who will tell about the importance of that product. Similarly, flagship species in an ecosystem, in the community or the habitat where it is, it will act as an ambassador. By focusing on and achieving conservation of that species, the status of many other species which share its habitat or are vulnerable to the same threats may also be improved. So, if one flagship species is being focused, for example, a tiger, if the focus is on that particular species, we can see that many other species which share the same habitat and are vulnerable to the same threats may also be improved. Flagship species are usually relatively large and considered to be charismatic in Western cultures. Flagship species may or may not be keystone species and may or may not be good indicators of biological process. Flagship species are iconic throughout the world due to their unique appeal. They appeal in a very unique form because, as I have told you, they are charismatic. For example, panda, polar bears, turtles, tigers, rhinoceros, etc., are a few flagship species that have gained international recognition. All over the world, if we speak about this particular species, each and everybody knows its importance. Every country can have its own flagship species that are unique to its place. For example, Iberian lynx is the flagship species in Spain. This animal belongs to cat family, and it has a very peculiar face. You can see tuft on the ears of this animal and fur like hair, long hair around the neckline of the face. So this animal is the flagship species in Spain. So every country may have its own flagship species. Flagship species are the species that are on the verge of extinction. So, these important species are selected based on the importance, that how endangered they are, or they are critically endangered or highly threatened, they are on the verge of extinction. Those species are marked and therefore used as an ambassador to draw society's attention towards the need to conserve them. Now, if we talk about one tiger, everybody will come to know about the importance of that ecosystem. The Bengal tiger, Asian elephant, African elephant, and giant panda are a few flagship species used by the World Wildlife Fund. World Wildlife Fund works on many projects for the conservation of wildlife. So they take a particular species and focus on the conservation of that animal, and that animal will be the charismatic species of that flagship, will be identified as the flagship species. And this panda is also the logo for this World Wildlife Fund. Now, the difference between this African and Asian elephant, you can see that the African elephant, it has a single dome, whereas the Asian elephant, it has two domes. On the head, you can see a W, um, upright, upside down W seen on the dome of the head. And there's difference in the ear. African elephant have large ears, whereas Asian elephants have round, small ears. Here you can see the African elephant and the Asian elephant. The ears of the African elephant are large, whereas the ears of Asian elephant are small. And the head of the African elephant is single dome, whereas Asiatic elephant has double dome, twin dome. Now, the various categories of flagship species, they are different, divided into three different categories: international flagship species, cultural flagship species, and ecological flagship species. These are the species, the international flagship species. These are the species that are recognized throughout the world. What are the international flagship species? Those species which are recognized throughout the world. Example, giant panda. Cultural flagship species. These species represent a specific culture. Example, Bornean ironwood is specific to Dayak tribe, and it is used as medicinal purpose, and the wood is used for as a timber. Ecological flagship species. These represent species with unique diversity. They have some unique diversity, because of which that species is identified as ecological flagship species. Example, Malagasy bob, found in Madagascar. This is the Boronian ironwood, which you can see in the forest. In the forest, this tree, Eucydorix lun, they are huge and tall and very. They have heavy trunk. So the wood of this, you can see the heart wood inside. It is red in color and it is very costly timber, as well as it has medicinal value. And this in the bobs found in the Madagascar, you can see that these are classified as an endangered species since 1998, hundreds of years old and standing up to 98 feet. The age of these trees are hundreds of years old. The bobs along the avenue look like trees that have been uprooted and replanted upside down. If you see the structure of this tree, it seems that you have pulled out the tree and the roots are the upper portion, the crown portion of this tree, it seems like roots. So we can say that these trees look like as if they have been uprooted and replanted upside down. Their branches, which only sprout from the very top of the trunk, are adorned with flat clusters of leaves that catch the light at sunlight. You can see the peculiar trees, Adansonian, which are also known as baobabs. Now, what are the benefits of flagship species? The flagship species, such as pandas and elephants, help in generating revenue through visits to institutions where they are kept. Now, wherever they are kept in any protected area or any zoo or biological parks, these generate revenue, and this revenue helps in the protection and sustainability of species. The flagship species attract the public due to its unique features. This way, the plight of such creatures can be brought to the notice of the society and strategies can be implemented to improve their condition. This creates awareness regarding biodiversity conservation among individuals. For example, we always say that save tigers, save tigers. Just by saying this, we get the whole image of that ecosystem where the tiger lives, and the whole protected area is conserved because of that single tiger species of tiger. Now, flagship species for the ocean can help make the sea a more charismatic place worthy for conservation dollars. In oceans also, there are flagship species which can act as the ambassadors, and they can earn dollars, that is, they can attract the public, and they can earn dollars which can be used for the conservation of that oceans. For example, flagship species for ocean could be polar bears, sea turtles, sharks, whales, and particularly charismatic fish. Now, the polar bear, whenever we speak of melting glaciers, melting ice, we say that in Arctic region the ice is melting. So we immediately get the image of the polar bear. Now, if the polar bear is the flagship species, it will gain attention among the public, and soon the people will try to understand what are the factors which are responsible for the melting of that ice. So, conserving this polar bear, the area can be conserved. The polar bear, in particularly, has been used as a focal point in climate change campaigns. Whenever campaigns are there for climatic change of the melting Arctic glaciers, so this polar bear gains the attention among the public. But these bears are now fewer, and conservation of this species is very important. The clownfish has been used to promote coral reef campaigns. Now, this fish, small clownfish, you can see in this photo, this is used for coral reef campaigns to promote coral reef campaigns. As reefs suffer from an increasing number of threats, including climate change and pollution. Because of the climatic change and the high pollution level, the corals are losing their beautiful color. We all know that corals are fascinating because they are beautiful and colorful, but because of pollution, they are losing their color, and the population is also declining. So, this clownfish is used to promote coral reef campaigns. Now, what are umbrella species? The umbrella species are selected for making conservation related decisions. This is because protecting these species protects several other species that form the ecological community of its habitat. As you can assume, umbrella. How does it looks like? A dome shaped with a stick in between. Now when we come under the umbrella, we are protected from rain. If one of our friend also requires the shelter, we say that you come under my umbrella. Similarly, a species which will act as umbrella will give protection to other species. So these umbrella species are selected for making conservation related decisions. Now conservation biologists use particular species as tools to conserve communities and ecosystem. So what are umbrella species? Species that when protected also help protect other less charismatic species. So often large species that need large amount of habitat are taken as umbrella species. Protecting their habitat automatically protects others. Flagship species, they are large and charismatic species used as spearhead for biodiversity conservation. For example, panda bear of the World Wildlife Fund, they are conserving many flagship species. Some organizations are moving beyond the single species approach to focus on whole landscape. Now, we were focusing on single species, but now there are some organizations which are working beyond the single species approach to focus on whole landscapes. Now, what are the conservation approaches of the umbrella species? When habitat is preserved to meet the needs of an umbrella species, it helps preserve habitat of many other species. Thus, primary species serve as an umbrella for others. As I have told you, a tiger in the forest will act as the primary species and can also be known as the umbrella species. Large species with large home ranges are good umbrella species. If we have a big umbrella, we can protect many people from rain. Similarly, large species with large home range, and we all know that tigers, lions, and leopards, these are the top predators, and other top predators, they also have large home ranges. So they can be good umbrella species. And so are charismatic ones that win public affection like panda. So flagship species, the species selected to act as an ambassador, icon or symbol for a defined habitat, issue or campaign or environmental cause. Umbrella species, the species selected for making conservation related decisions because protecting these species ultimately will protect others. So what we see, the flagship species and umbrella species, they both are used for the conservation, they have conservation value. The flagship species act as the ambassador, the icon for campaigning for the cause of environmental issues and conservation. And same is the umbrella species, that they are well defined, and protection of a single species as an umbrella species can protect or give conservation to all other threatened species which are sharing the same habitat. Thank you so much.